Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So I'm speaking for 5 minutes on a subject I personally feel is both interesting and really, really important, and I hope you all do too. So I'm going to run through something we did at Aberdeen last year, which was during International Open Access Week. I'm sure you all appreciate asylum seekers in the UK are not made welcome. Bureaucracy, politics, and ignorance combine to create a difficult environment, which is at best hard to navigate, at worst extremely hostile. I strongly believe that libraries and universities should be doing their utmost to support people who arrive seeking refuge by offering them support and providing knowledge and education to fight ignorance, hate, and deliberate misinformation. So as a result, I enthusiastically supported an idea from my open research manager to explore how open research can support those people who arrive in this country with academic and professional qualifications in terms of their journey towards a role they're qualified for and their need to maintain connections to networks and knowledge that help them maintain their identities. So we organised an event as part of Open Access Week to explore this, and we worked with a local organisation charged with supporting asylum seekers in Aberdeen, Grampian Regional Equality Council, known as GREC, as they had both the contacts and the expertise to identify and liaise with lived experience individuals. As you see from the advert here, we welcomed whole families. It would otherwise have been difficult for some of the lived experience people to attend. So we had children running around the event, which was challenging, but we had books and toys to try and distract them. We were careful about how it was promoted. I wanted to shout about it beforehand. I'm shouting about it afterwards because this was just in the middle of all that awful, disgraceful half-mast flag flying that was going on around the UK, and I didn't want fascists whipping up demonstrations outside the library because they'd heard we were doing something like this. So we had to manage the risk. So we heard from our colleagues in GREC that Aberdeen has a very large dispersal area, as they're called, and it's also a very international city. We have exactly the problem in Aberdeen we were seeking to explore. We have a highly educated, but mainly or underemployed migrant population. And GREC were very clear. People don't know where to find reliable information. It's not just a language gap that they're struggling with. It reduces people's ability to maintain their professional knowledge and their academic knowledge and be able to continue in their field. And it's also worth pointing out that GREC themselves have no access to paywalled research, and they don't have the budget to afford access to paywalled research. So what was really, I think, unique perhaps about our event was we actually had lived experience individuals come into the building and talk to us about these things. And each had arrived in difficult circumstances. Each had come from a highly educated professional background. And what they said supported our theory that they benefit from more access to research. And we also heard how valuable the physical library was to them, offering a different environment and a very different collection to the city's public libraries. We had one individual who said he was really disappointed about the public library. It was full of novels, things like that. He wanted engineering books, and he was astonished to discover he had the right to come to our library and access those things. So in the short term, we've done a couple of practical things. We've made sure seekers of asylum can gain access to the library without our usual requirements of proof of address and ID. We have a different process for them. And we've translated both our open research guide and our use of the library guide into the two most used languages by seekers of asylum, and we're intending to do more. So longer term, I intend to feed this into Aberdeen's plans to become a university of sanctuary. I think this is a core contribution of its library, and I think that's unusual. I think most libraries focus on welcoming people into physical spaces. I don't think many university libraries are thinking about this. So Aberdeen was established over 430 years ago with a foundational statement open to all, dedicated to the pursuit of truth in the service of others. And I'm really pleased that the library and my open research team are committed to ensuring this is the case. And I want to thank my open research manager, Emma Francis, in particular. She's on the left in this photo, and this is our speakers and some of our lived experience visitors on the day. So I was delighted to see this happen. I think it's really, really important. Thank you for your time.